The next topic is topic C, determining compatibility issues. Once you've finalized the service tier, the next step is to migrate both the schema and the data from the on-premises SQL database to Azure SQL databases. Not all features are the same and supported on Azure SQL Server. Therefore, you're first going to have to do a compatibility assessment or test and then fix any compatibility issues. There are a number of tools available to detect these compatibility issues. However, these tools can be used to migrate the databases as well. However, in this section, we're just going to talk about compatibility. The tools include the Data Migration Assistant, SQL Server Data Tools for Visual Studio, SQL Server Management Studio, SQL Package.exe, and the SQL Azure Migration Wizard. Okay, let's look at each tool individually. We'll start with the Data Migration Assistant. The Data Migration Assistant is a standalone tool for detecting compatibility issues and then allowing you to migrate your on-premises SQL Server databases to Azure SQL database. It's got a wizard type interface, easy to use graphical user interface that will allow you to look for compatibility issues, carry out a compatibility assessment, and then complete the migration. Okay, we'll detect and highlight these compatibility issues. Once you've fixed them all, you will then be able to migrate. SQL Server Data Tools for Visual Studio. This is the best tool for Azure SQL Database version 12 to find and fix incompatibility issues. It's got the most recent compatibility rules. Now, the compatibilities can be fixed from the SQL Server Data Tools itself, and then later on we can carry out the migration. Then we've got SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio has got two options. The first one is the Export Data Tier application. This exports the data and the schema into a backpack file, and while doing so, lists out any incompatibilities found. Then we can deploy the database to Microsoft Azure SQL database. This deploys the database to an Azure SQL database, first by exporting a backpack file and then importing the backpack file into Azure SQL database. And it lists any incompatibilities when generating the backpack file. Next in line is the SQL Package.exe, which is a command line tool that will help to automate database development tasks such as importing, exporting, and extracting backpack or DACPack files. It can be used to detect and report incompatibility issues. Its actual use is to help automate database lifecycle management, but it can be used to help find and detect incompatibility issues as well. And it's included in SQL Server Data Tools. And finally, we've got the SQL Azure Migration Wizard. This is a community-supported Codeplex tool that provides a wizard-driven graphical user interface to detect incompatibility issues and migrate the database. The tool itself isn't updated fully to work on later versions of SQL Azure database, so this one's probably not one you're likely to utilize.